For In Motion, I'm Kurt Parker. Over 1 century ago here at the Pennsylvania State College, a graduation ceremony was held. On the surface, it probably resembled other ceremonies that occurred years before. All but in one instance. There was one graduate, an African-American male, then referred to properly as Negro, named Calvin Hoffman Waller. He was to graduate with a degree in agriculture.
Cal Waller was born in Macon, Georgia, in 1880, I believe. Before coming to Penn State, he had done some agricultural training work. He'd been to Tuskegee Institute, Booker T. Washington's school in Alabama. He'd been to an agricultural institute in South Carolina, but neither one of these institutes would yield a college degree. And I think that it's quite likely that while at Tuskegee, he would have been inspired by Booker T. Washington to realize that he had an opportunity, that he had the intelligence and he had the drive that he could make a difference. And a college degree would be the thing that would enable him to do that. And he was interested in agriculture. There's no question about that.
The year was 1905. In 9 years, the trench warfare of the First World War would begin. The country was just 40 years removed from the Civil War. Segregation was the definite law of the land in the South, and while blacks were treated poorly north of the Mason-Dixon line, there were educational opportunities.
Many Northern educational leaders were interested in advancing the educational opportunities for African Americans. This is not to say that they were perhaps complete integrationists or that they might have the racial sensitivities that we would expect of an educational leader today. I mean, this was 100 years ago. But nevertheless, they wanted to see these young men and women have an opportunity for a college education, and they supported the historically black schools in the South.
Life at Penn State was not without its trials. Waller started school here in 1899, matriculating through a 4-year program in 6 years. Most surmise his lengthy undergrad career was due to the inferior education afforded blacks in this time period. More concrete evidence is found in a correspondence between Booker T. Washington, principal of Tuskegee Institute, and then Penn State President George W. Atherton. Washington was looking for prospective black instructors for his agricultural program.
We are anxious to extend and improve our agricultural department, to which we have been devoting much attention during the past few years. For this reason, I write to inquire if you have in your agricultural department any young colored men taking work in the various courses to whom I could make an offer and whom you will recommend. The courtesy of an early reply will be greatly appreciated. With expressions of cordiality, I am, yours truly, Booker T. Washington, Principal, Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute.
My dear sir, I have your letter of the 28th and regret to say we are not able at present to be of service to you in the matter about which you inquire. We have one young colored man here who is doing fair work and is of such ability as leads me to have no doubt that he will be prepared for a successful career after he has completed our course. He shows a serious lack of elementary foundation training from causes which, of course, we all perfectly understand, but we are treating him with every possible consideration and helpfulness at the same time that we are trying to cultivate a sense of personal responsibility and self-dependence. He will require at least 2 or 3 years more to complete his course, if his courage holds out so long. If it does, he should be only too glad that he would have the opportunity of working with you.
Upon graduation, Waller headed south. His journey took him to the great state of Texas, where in 1907 he took the position of assistant professor of vegetable gardening at what would become Prairie View A&M. He was a popular teacher by all accounts, but it was with the black farmers where he had the greatest impact by getting them to rely on science rather than superstition to improve production techniques. In 1919, he was named head of Negro Extension Work and remained in that position for more than 20 years. In his time there, he worked continuously to convince the white establishment to accept the black ag and home economic agents. Under his keen management, his office grew from 19 men and women to 85. Through perseverance and the ability to see past his immediate situation, Waller had the ability to rise to the top. It is in that spirit that Penn State honors Cal Waller and Mildred Button, the university's first African-American female graduate, by establishing the Button-Waller Fellowships and Scholarships.
The Button-Waller Fellowship is named after two of our first African-American graduates, Calvin Waller and Mildred Button. It is a scholarship program that provides financial assistance to academically talented students from a range of different ethnic backgrounds and socioeconomic abilities. Over the 10 or 11 years of the program, we have about a 95% graduation rate for students involved in those programs. It's not just a scholarship program, it also involves some academic enhancement programs that we have that are part of the presentation here on campus that we think allows these students to be successful.
Because of his legacy, underrepresented groups with academic promise can have the chance to contribute to society and to the university.
It really talks about his persistence, how he came to a university that was really not even, I think, expecting him to be African American when he first showed up on campus. But it speaks volumes about our ability to be inclusive, because I think he had a good experience here and was able to be included in a number of different activities on campus from as much as we can tell from our records, and that this is a kind of institution that provides people with an opportunity, I think, to be successful and reaches out to people who are different.
Calvin Hoffman Waller, the first African-American male Penn State graduate that will always be remembered. For In Motion, I'm Kurt Parker.